The fight game has always been about evolution. Fighters come and go, but styles, tactics, and mentalities change with each passing generation. At UFC 314, the battle between old school versus new school will be on full display as the old guard clashes with the new wave in a battle that will define the sport's current era. Some legends, like former UFC and Bellator champs Alex Volkanovski and Patricio Freire and Michael Chandler, are looking to prove they still belong among the elite, while younger fighters like Diego Lopes, Paddy, Pimblett, and Yair aim to usher in a new age of dominance. Will the young guns bury the old war horses, or will the latter's experience ruin fresh blood's party? Let's break the fights down and find out, starting with Yair versus Patricio Pitbull Freire, who is making his UFC debut after a lengthy career in Bellator. Yair versus Patricio Pitbull Freire. Yair versus Patricio Freire is a battle of pure violence. Yair is one of the most explosive strikers in the UFC, while Patricio Pitbull is a certified Bellator legend who hopes to prove in the UFC that he's the best featherweight in the world. The stakes are massive in this one because if Pitbull wins, he instantly shakes up the featherweight division and puts himself in a position to fight for the belt, just like Michael Chandler did when he fought for a UFC title in only his second UFC fight. If Yair wins, he proves once again why he's one of the most dangerous fighters at 145 and why he's one of the frontrunners to capture the belt now that the division's top guy has moved up to lightweight and the two GOATs are looking shaky at the moment. For Rodriguez, the fight is about getting back into the title picture. He already had his shot at Volkanovski but fell short, but a win over Pitbull can set him up for another big opportunity. The Mexican powerhouse's style is unpredictable with flying kicks, spinning elbows, and creative striking that can end a fight in an instant. But Pitbull is no easy target. The Brazilian is a battle-tested veteran with knockout power in both hands, a solid ground game, and years of championship experience. The biggest question is how he'll handle the UFC's level of competition, given how former Bellator champions like Chandler and Eddie Alvarez have had mixed results in the UFC. That being said, Pitbull definitely has the skill set to break that trend. If Yair keeps the fight at range and picks his shots, he could piece Pitbull up. But if he lets Pitbull close the distance, things could get ugly fast because Freire loves to go for the kill. One thing's for sure, this one won't be a slow-paced chess match. Expect fireworks from the opening bell. My pick is on Freire for this matchup. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. The UFC 314 co-main event is just as intriguing as Michael Chandler finally takes a step down in competition to face Paddy Pimblett. Since arriving in the UFC, Chandler has only fought the lightweight division's elite. Win or lose, he's always been in high-stakes fights and often in title eliminators. But after multiple losses, it was inevitable that he'd have to fight someone lower in the rankings. In Chandler's current position, Paddy Pimblett is his perfect opponent. The promotion clearly wants to build him into a future star, especially with many lightweight legends nearing retirement. When guys like Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje move on, the UFC is hoping Paddy will be the face of the division. But is he really that guy? This particular fight will answer that question. Chandler is dangerous for anyone, but his reckless fight style makes every matchup a 50-50 gamble. He could bulldoze Paddy early or get caught himself. If he fights mildly and abandons technique, like he often does, Pimblett has a real chance of pulling off the upset. Since both men are capable wrestlers, this might be an all-out war with punches swinging far and wide, and in that scenario, only one will survive. Who will it be? I'm backing Pimblett to get the job done since he's still young, hungry, and he hits really hard. He's far less reckless than Chandler, and it's highly likely that the Brit will catch the American off guard and shut his lights out. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Now, UFC 314 is an absolutely stacked card, and surprisingly, it only features one title fight, Volkanovski versus Lopes for the vacant featherweight belt. Normally, a card this big would have at least 2 title fights, but this one stands on its own because it's a fantastic matchup, though the division also lost some of its shine when Ilia Topuria vacated the title. If Volkanovski wins, he becomes a two-time champion, a massive achievement that could cement him as the greatest featherweight of all time. But this is also the ultimate test of his resilience. After back-to-back knockout losses, many believe he's past his prime. Beating Lopes would prove he's still elite, but even if he wins, the division might feel a little hollow, simply because of the fact that Topuria didn't lose the belt, he simply left. If Volkanovski reclaims it, he will forever remain in the shadows until he makes it even against Topuria down the road. On the flip side, if Diego Lopes wins, it breathes new life into the featherweight division. It would prove that Topuria still had unfinished business at 145 and that the division remains competitive. If Lopes, the guy that was next in line for Topuria, wins the belt and does so convincingly, it sets up a potential return for Topuria down the line. But if Volk takes it, the chapter might just close right there. Volkanovski has already said he wants to be an active champion, fighting Lopes first and then taking on Movsar Evloev just 3 months later. But no matter what, some fans will struggle to see him as the true featherweight king while Topuria is still looming at lightweight. As far as this matchup is concerned, it's anyone's to take. A lot of fans assume Volk gets his belt back since Ilia Topuria moved up, but Lopes is dangerous. In fact, he's extremely dangerous because he's young, talented, and hungry to prove that he is the best. Volk can't just stay at range and point fight, because if he makes a mistake early, Lopes's fast hands and heavy hooks could send him to the shadow realm. What Volk has to do here is clinch more, grapple, and press the Brazilian. Now, some might say that's risky against Lopes, but Volk has a background in Greco-Roman wrestling, so I don't think he'd be in much trouble really. If Volk plays this smart, expect him to wear Lopes down, keep him pinned, and break him like he did to Yair and Ortega. But if he messes around on the feet early, it could be lights out because back-to-back knockouts are never an easy thing to fully recover from. It's 50-50 at this point, but I'd still favor Volk because of his experience, although I wouldn't be surprised if Lopes hands the Aussie a third straight loss. UFC 314 is an amazing card, boys and girls. It's the new era versus the old era. The new era fighters are supremely talented, and they're entering the UFC with complete skill sets, cutting-edge training methods, and a kill-or-be-killed mindset. They are ready to take over. On the other hand, if veterans like Volkanovski, Chandler, and Freire manage to fend off their younger challengers, it could prove that experience, fight IQ, and heart still hold weight in a rapidly evolving sport. Sometimes, the fundamentals and wisdom of the old school are enough to dismantle the flash of the new. UFC 314 is more than just another pay-per-view event. It's a battle between generations. The old school fighters are fighting to stay relevant, while the new wave is here to take over. Whether it's Volkanovski's championship medal, Chandler's battle-tested heart, or Freire's veteran repertoire, the old horses will be looking to prove that experience still reigns supreme. Meanwhile, Lopes, Pimblett, and Rodriguez are out to show that the future is now. Who will come out on top when the lights shine bright? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.